Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of BlueSync. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Perfect. Getting thumbs up. Good. Alrighty. So today we are going to be going over listings to leads, kind of do a quick updated overview. It's been a while since we've done kind of a full video going over that product. So today's just going to kind of be a quick run through of some of the different tools and things that you can utilize through listings to leads. So I always access listings to leads by going through Moxie. You can always just go to listingstoleads.com and then log in from there. But this is just what my habit is. So I always am signed into my Moxie account. And then I go ahead and click my profile icon in the upper right-hand corner and scroll down to where the external links are. And then down towards the bottom on this page is going to be where listings to leads is. Sometimes it will sign you right in. Other times you might have to type your information in. Obviously, today I'm going to be using a office account, so just very generic login details there. But once you log in, you will a lot of the times get some kind of a pop-up message. A lot of the times if they have a new tool or something that they're trying to push, they will give you kind of a little blurb here that will jump up right when you click into it. You can always click out of them by clicking the X in the corner or hitting close in the bottom left. So when we first get in here, we are going to be in our dashboard, and pretty self-explanatory. The dashboard is going to be where you kind of get that overview of everything that's in your listings to leads profile. So again, this is a admin account, so there's a variety of agents listings in here, and a wide range of properties. But if this was a single agent website, they would only be seeing their properties in here. So you can see there is a spot for active listings. This is going to give you just a quick little scope of some recent ones here. There is some pending and just sold information here as well. They have leads over here on the right-hand side, PDF guides, which are a tool that Listings to Leads puts together. They're just quick little presentation booklet type formats that have information on a variety of real estate topics. These are nice sometimes if you ever want to take a look through them. You can always look at them on this left-hand navigation over where it says PDF guides. They have a full list of them there. They're great kind of extra information for listing presentations, just any kind of meetup with clients or any of that kind of stuff. So like I said, all of this here is just kind of a quick overview of some of the profile stuff that Listings to Leads has. Down at the very bottom, you'll also find statistics. So this will show kind of an overview of how leads, or not how leads, how listings are doing and if they're generating leads and all of that good stuff. So the dashboard is just a good place to kind of get that brief snapshot of everything that is going on in your L2L profile. And you can do just some quick tasks from there as well. Moving on, I'm actually going to skip down to the very bottom of this left-hand navigation menu here and go to where it says profile. Apologize, I seem to have a fuzz or something on my nose and it's quite tickly. Okay, so profile, this is where we are going to be able to update any of our information. This is always a good idea. I always tell agents to come in here and double check their name spelling, their email address, their phone number, all of that kind of stuff. Make sure that their headshot has pulled in here as well, because as we know, sometimes things get missed or misspelled on accident. So it's always a good idea to come into these profile details and give everything a quick once over just to make sure that it all appears correct. So this is just kind of that basic info there. Now going down this kind of list here, I'm just going to pop into a few things. The first one being appearance. So again, this should be set up for agents when they are getting their profile, but they can choose to have the Coldwell Banker colors, which is going to help with any tools that they're using through Listings to Leads, kind of making it follow that Coldwell Banker color scheme. They do have a wide variety of brokerages in there, and they can even do custom if they would like. But we always recommend just keeping to that Coldwell Banker template, just to keep things, looking clean and follow the pattern. You can also do some default selecting here. So this is for the property websites. So you can kind of choose what the default template is if you are using these things. You can choose these later when you're actually in those specific items, but this is going to kind of set your default. So you just click whichever one you want to use and it will make that your default item there. Social media share template, same thing. You can select what the default image is there. So just some very basic things that you can do. The other thing that I wanted to point out is auto posting up across the very top. So next to where account is, you're going to have an auto posting button. This is where you can connect your Facebook page. Keep in mind, we always want this to be a business Facebook page. So whether you are an admin or an agent, we want this to be a business Facebook page that you can push things out to. So all you have to do is click the connect Facebook button or any of these other platforms here, and it will walk you through the steps to add your account in. It is very easy. All you have to do is enter in your login information for those tools, and then it will kind of link it automatically for you. So it's really quite easy. The other thing that we can do here, I'm going to scroll down to where it says listings. Again, this is just kind of doing some of that default work, setting things up for using them in the future. So as we know, when we do auto posting, we also have the option to do auto post for listings and different property types. So here you can kind of set what that default template is going to be. I always point out up at the very top, you can check the button for customize for each status. This will allow you to put in just listed templates or pending, sold. I would say just listed and just sold are probably the most common. But you can set up auto posting for all of these other topics as well. Not topics, statuses, I should say. And all you have to do, this is already copied in here because I have done this before, but if you are going in here for the first time, this box over here on the right is going to be blank. All you have to do is hit this copy and paste button and it will pull all of that text in. Anything that's within these brackets, like you can see the status and the city here, is going to automatically pull an update when the post goes out. So it will pull in the status that you're posting it for and the city, as well as all of the other stuff that's in brackets. So I wouldn't mess with that stuff too much, but if you do want to do some basic edits to the post or change out emojis, hashtags, that kind of thing, you can absolutely do all of that right here. And again, this is just going to kind of set your default template and keep it consistent. Again, we want to make sure that this stays kind of generic since it is used for every listing and every sold or whatever status you're doing it for. We want to make sure that it does stay relatively basic. That way, if you're posting listings in a variety of areas, variety of price points, this is going to be kind of a catch-all for all of those properties. And I do see that I had a chat come in. Some agents only use their personal page. Can they use that Facebook URL? I am not positive if ListingsToLeads will let you link a personal account. They're welcome to try it, but we do always recommend that they do start an actual business profile page. It's very simple to do through Facebook. So that would be the first option. I'm not positive if ListingsToLeads will let them use a personal page if that's what they use for their business. But you can always give that a shot and see if it works out. But like I said, business page is always preferred. Okay, and then moving over from this template option to where the preferences are, you can also do things like pick out what the schedule for these posts is going to be. So over here on the right-hand side, say if you're doing this as an office page, or if you're an agent who has a lot of listings that are actively moving statuses, you can always choose how far apart they are spaced out, how many posts per day you're doing, which is always a good idea, especially if you are utilizing this on an admin page and you are a relatively busy office. That way your whole entire feed isn't spammed the whole day with just listed and just sold and pendings and open houses and all of that stuff. So I would recommend taking a look at that if you are going to use the auto posting. But again, This is just a way to make your life a little bit easier. You certainly don't have to use the auto posting from there if you do not want to. And then the other thing that I'm going to point out quickly here in the auto posting, and then we're going to move on to something different, is the free home values. So you do have the ability to auto post a free home valuation page, which I will show you guys when we get to landing pages here in just a few minutes. But this is just a quick, easy thing that you can schedule to go out either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. So this is going to be something that is just geared towards gathering leads. So this is geared towards, it's going to post and it's going to say, are you interested in selling your home? What's your address? Click here for a free home valuation. And those leads are going to automatically pull into your account. So it is a good tool if you are looking to up your leads and just kind of get some more posts going. You can always post these pages individually. Like I said, we're going to go over doing landing pages, which will include a home valuation page. But if you are wanting something that's going to go out every month or something like that, you can always do the set it and forget it here. Same process as doing the auto posting for listings or any of that stuff. You're going to clear out anything that's in this box. If you don't have anything there, you're just going to hit this green copy and paste button, make any edits you want. Again, don't touch anything within these brackets. That's going to automatically populate. And then make sure that you turn on the toggle here to make that post go live, and then always hit save to save your changes. Okay, so like I said, that's going to be kind of all that I cover as far as the auto posting goes. Now we are going to switch into actually looking at our listings and doing some marketing for them. So over here in this left-hand navigation, I'm going to go to where it says listings. And then from here, we are going to see a full list populate of all of our listings. Again, I know I've said it a million times, this is an admin account. So there is a ton of listings here from a variety of agents. If you are a single agent, you are only going to see your listings here. So first things first, you can see they have them laid out kind of in this nice list format. You can see the agent, the date they were added, the price, the status, and then there's also this market listing button. I'm actually going to jump into the More Tools tab across the top before we get into actually looking at specific listings. So I'm going to click on that More Tools. And then I'm going to go down to where we have our All Listings email. Now, I did recently do a training on this. It can be found on the Schmidt Video Classroom, so I'm not going to go super duper in depth on this, but you can send out a listing from Listings to Leads that will have a list of current listings in the area. You can send these out to a list of people created in Listings to Leads. You can send them out to individuals. So that is an option if you are wanting to utilize that kind of as a way to market listings, market as an agent, all of that good stuff. Like I said, there's a full training video on the ins and outs of that on the Schmidt Video Classroom. So go check it out if you want to know how to set that up, but it is an option here. And the other thing I'm going to show you guys is over in settings, and that is mainly going to be how long it takes to display the contact form after they click into your landing page on Listings to Leads. So when we do post or send out any kind of property page on Listings to Leads, obviously it's in the title of the website. We're trying to get those leads. So there's going to be a form that pops up almost immediately, sometimes immediately. I have this one set to 0 that will request their information. So that's going to be, they can either sign in through Facebook and it will gather their information from that, or they will enter in their name, their phone number, their email, whatever they choose. So this is something, if you want to be a little bit less aggressive with gathering the information, you can make this be a little bit longer of a time period before it pops up, or you can always keep it at 0 where it will prompt them as soon as they click on the page for the listing to enter their information in. And to just kind of show you an example of that, I'm going to toggle back over to the listings across the top. And then I'm going to just click into one of these. And then I'm going to go to market listing. Don't have to be following along too closely here. I'm really just showing you the property website. I think I could have just clicked it. So once I click into this, you are pretty much immediately going to see a pop-up window that should pull up unless Judy has her settings different. Let me try a different one. Just so you guys can see that page that I'm talking about that will pop up and gather their details. Man, all these are just proving me wrong today. Well, there is a box that will pop up and it won't allow them to close out of it unless they do enter in their details. There we go. Took a minute. So this box will pop up whenever they click into any of these properties. Like I said, they can continue with Facebook and it will gather their information from there, or they can enter in their email and that will then turn into a lead in the platform. So just wanted to point that out, kind of what I was talking about there. So I'm going to go back here to all of my listings, and then I'm going to show you guys some of the marketing options that you can do within the listing. So we have our full list of all these listings here. I'm just going to pick one at random, and I'm going to click this green market listing button. And as you can see over here on the left-hand side, there is a million different opportunities for you to do marketing right from listings to leads. I'm just going to kind of go over some of the more basic and commonly used ones. So first thing here we have is a social media post. This is going to be not an auto post, but a one-time post that you would make to Facebook or any other platform that you have linked. It gives you a preview of the post here. You can also edit. So if you just click this edit button, you can edit any of this text. So if you want it to be specific to that post and that property, you can change things up there. But otherwise, this is going to default to that template that we were working on when we first logged in at the very beginning. So this is a quick, easy way to just kind of have a post made for you. To actually send that post out, you would click the Post Now button. It's grayed out for me because I don't currently have an account set up to post it to. But it does also give you the option right here to connect the account if you forgot to in your profile settings. So you would just hit Post Now, or you can also schedule posts to go out, which is great as well. So you can do this, at 10 o'clock at night and schedule it to go out at 8 a.m. the next morning, or whatever time you would prefer the post to be sent out. There's also some options for sellers to share information on the listing. So there's things like share on sellers' social media, as well as an e-flyer for your sellers people. So the share on social media is going to be a post that the sellers can add to their Facebook page. Sorry, just give me one moment. So incredibly sorry about that. Okay, so jumping back in here. So this is a Facebook post that the sellers can share onto their social media very easily. All you have to do is add the seller info, and it is going to send this post to them, which they can then just copy and paste into their Facebook and post it for all of their sphere to see. So this is great because it does have the agent that is working with them, and then just kind of gives a little pat on the back to them and all of the hard work that they are doing to try and market the listing. E-flyer for the seller sphere of influence is the same exact sort of thing. So it just gives a quick little flyer here that can be sent out directly to the seller. You just have to add the seller's information here, and then they will be able to send that out via email or print it and hand it out to people, whatever they would like to do. So that is kind of a cool and unique option, I would say, for some different kinds of marketing that you can do for your sellers. So they love to see that too. They obviously want to see that you're sharing their property and, doing all that you can do to try and make it get sold as fast as possible. The other thing that is kind of nice as well is these short form video scripts. So these are going to be for, we always say those, we're like broken records. The videos that agents make get the most attention and catch people's attention the best. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't know what to say in those videos. This gives you a whole script right here that just lays out everything that you would have to say. It's short, it's easy. So there's a video script here focused on this specific listing that they can just shoot with their iPhone and post to social media and gain traction that way as well. We also have our single property websites, which is what I showed you a preview of just a moment ago. So this is, again, just a very simple property website. It's geared towards generating leads, but it has all of the basic stuff. So it's going to give all the listing information, the same stuff that the MLS or CB Great Lakes or whatever company website you use in your area. This is going to be just a very similar format, but it's going to be geared towards gathering those leads, which is obviously the whole goal of the platform. So we do love those as well. And then the last thing that I want to point out is the QR code. So I recently have started getting more into these. We use these in the Traverse City, Michigan office on our window displays. So you can download this code right here by simply clicking the download button, download it in whatever format you want. And then all you have to do is copy or paste that onto whatever tool you're using, whether it's a window display or a flyer. And all that someone has to do that's looking at it is take their phone camera, scan the code, and it will pull up that property website. And again, prompt them to put in their information while also giving them information on the listing. So these are a great resource to use, especially in today's world. A lot of people know what those QR codes are, and they're just an easy way to get that information out to people. Very last thing is going to be at the very bottom, this traffic report. So if you are utilizing any kind of advertising, social media posts, any of that stuff, this will give you a quick look into how it's doing. So this one isn't currently being used anywhere, but it will tell you if you're advertising on Facebook, how far it's reaching, how many people are interacting with your social media post, how many people are visiting the site, clicking on it, have given their information. So this is just a good idea or a good way to see the very specifics of each property and how it's doing with marketing. Okay, now switching gears, we're going to look into our social content. I'm just going to do a quick touch on this one. So it's over here in this left-hand side navigation again. And there is a training video that goes in depth on this as well in the Schmidt video classroom, but I'm just going to do a quick look at it right now. So as you can see, this is a calendar. And what these are is social content, so social media posts that you can set up to go out. These are great for the agent that wants to have an active social media presence, but maybe doesn't exactly know how to, make those posts and come up with the content and do all of that stuff. So they do have some really fun topics. All you have to do when you're in here is go over to the topics button up across the top. And it has a wide range of things that you can choose from. And it even gives you recommendations. So pick 5 from home design. They have quotes, home and outdoor, home maintenance, fun, handmade, real estate, all of these different topics. And all you have to do is select the ones that you want to use. And it will automatically kind of create a posting schedule for you and post those topics kind of interchanged with each other to keep your social media presence up without you actually having to do a lot of work on the back end to come up with content and do all of that stuff. If you do want to change the schedule of the social media posting, you can go over to settings here and then go down to posting schedule, and you can choose what days it goes out on, and then also the times that it's going to post. So very easy to set up. Like I said, if you want a more in-depth dive on that, there is a video in the Schmidt Video Classroom that goes over it. So check that out if you want more information, and you can always reach out if you have questions. Next, we're going to go over the landing pages and listings to leads. These are very popular. So right underneath social content on that left-hand navigation, we're going to click there. And these landing pages, there's a variety of different ones that you can choose from. The most popular is probably the home valuation, which is what I'm going to show you guys how to quickly create today. Again, there's training videos on the Schmidt Video Classroom going over these, but I will just give you kind of a quick glimpse into them right now. So we're going to go on Create Landing Page up at the top, this green button. And Amy asked if you schedule an L2L, will it also show up on the Facebook planner? I don't believe so. I think that the calendar view, the kind of planner that is in L2L, is separate from the planner in Meta or Facebook that you're looking at. So I don't believe that it will show up there. But, you know, you would just kind of have to juggle those, keep track of those on your own, I guess. All right, so the different types of landing pages, like I said, there is a ton in here. And it's a good idea to kind of look through these if you ever have the time just to see what all there is option-wise. But like I said, the property valuation is probably the most common. That's going to be the basic, you know, you're looking to sell your home, what's your address? We'll send you a property valuation for your address. So then you also have to give it a name. I would recommend kind of keeping it simple, maybe the area that you're targeting this to. So I'm going to do Traverse City and then create landing page. And sometimes L2L does work very slow. I will say the pages take forever to load. I don't know why it's always been that way. They're just a very slow loading website. So sometimes it looks like it's getting frozen, but it's still just working in the background. Okay, so once this loads, we are going to be able to jump into our editor, which is going to allow us to change the look of the landing page and kind of get a good preview of the page itself. So I'm going to click Open Editor, or you can click it down here at the bottom. Either one is fine. And this is going to allow us to make basic changes. This is kind of built out for you, but you do have the opportunity to change, you know, the background image. They have a bunch of stock images that you can choose from, or you can choose from listings that you have. So tons of different opportunities. Just select one and then click that green insert button. So you can really, you know, just kind of dress this up however you would like to. You can change how the wording is on some of these features as well. So like, please enter your property address. You do have the ability to change that. Just basic edits to kind of make it clean or reflect what you are trying to gather from them. The next page is going to be pricing. So I kind of did that fast. There's a drop down up here at the very top. At the beginning, it says page 1. They added in a new page called pricing, and this is going to be kind of what they would price their home at if they were to do it. So good information to know as you're moving into a situation with a potential seller. Same here, you can change how a lot of these text bubbles are worded and the colors of it, all of that good stuff. And then the very last page, labeled page 2, is going to be what comes up after they enter those 2 other pages. This will be the last one, which actually gathers their information. You can choose what fields are optional versus what are required. So I would recommend getting a phone or an email address. You don't have to get their name if you don't want to. Some people get really weird about entering their information, especially on sites that they're not really sure of. So kind of keeping it simple is best. And then once you have kind of played around with these pages and you want to see what it will look like, you can go up in the top left-hand corner and go to View. This will give you just a quick preview. So this is only going to be page 1, and then if you entered in your information here, so the property address, it would take you to the pricing page, and then after that, you would get into actually entering in your information for the home valuation and the lead for you to follow up with them. So again, very easy kind of pre-built page to utilize, whether you're using it on Facebook or anything else. If you are wanting to share it directly from here, you can just hit the share button up kind of in the middle. And then if your Facebook page is connected, you can just click that Facebook icon and it will post. Or you can just hit the post button here and it will automatically send it out to any of the platforms that are linked in your ListingsToLeads profile. All right, so I'm going to close out of that. And then I think really the only other thing that I have to go over is the analytics down here at the very bottom in that left-hand navigation. This is just a good place to see kind of everything that's going on with all of your properties in L2L. So this is going to show you how much interaction they're getting advertising wise. It's going to show you the last 7 days, the last 30 days, and the last 90 days. So it's going to give you just kind of a quick glimpse as to how many times it's being viewed, if people are clicking on it. So this is just something that if you're interested in kind of tracking the progress of anything that you are currently trying to do through L2L, this is where you can kind of go to get that information and see how much all of your stuff is working for you and all of that good stuff. So the very last thing that I'm just going to point out is if you ever do have any questions while you are in ListingsToLeads, at the very bottom, there is a place for tutorials as well as support. So if you're wanting to know how to do something specific, you can come here and kind of click through these topics and or type in the search bar and find some help on any specific topic that you're looking for. There's also the support website. If you're having trouble with your account, you can always go through that portal as well. So all in all, ListingsToLeads is a great tool. There's a ton of different ways that you can do marketing from here. And obviously the great thing about it is that it is all meant to get leads. So it's a great tool to utilize. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. Otherwise, you can always reach out to me after the fact via email or call if you have any further questions, and make sure to check out the Schmidt Video Classroom if you have any questions on any specifics that I went over today. I'm sure there's a video that covers it somewhere. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.